this time, we would like to invite another significant partner, which is the British government, which is represented by His Excellency this morning, Mr. Howard Drake. Please.
Thank you very much. I've been in Jamaica a couple of years, which means that I ought to know by now that no event like this will happen without me having to say something. The good news is, for all of you, is that it means that as it's not been prepared, it will be short. But I have to say, it's great to be down here. It's a real pleasure on a personal level. I'll come on to that in a minute. But it's also, I'm delighted, and a couple of speakers already mentioned, it coincides with a visit to Jamaica of 3 members of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the House of Commons, who this gentleman in front of you, who some of you will meet, I'm sure, later, who are here as part of an inquiry which the Foreign Affairs Committee is doing on the role and future of the Commonwealth. And they've been for a couple of days, they're heading on tomorrow to another Commonwealth country as part of a broader global inquiry. But I think it's very striking, really, that you know, if you think about the origin of this, and the Prince of Wales, His Royal Highness, involved in his initiative, his vision, and you think about that, what that says about the extraordinary sort of deep bond between the country, the UK, not just the royal family, between the UK and Jamaica and the Commonwealth. I think it's a living example of the sentiment which underpins the Commonwealth. On a personal level, I just want to say it's a particular pleasure to be here, because I first heard about this in my previous posting. I was ambassador in Chile, where I had the great honour of receiving His Royal Highness Prince of Wales and His Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall shortly before I left. And as I can imagine you can probably work out when you're having a conversation with the heir to the throne, he said, "Howard, I understand you're off to Jamaica. Let me tell you about Rosetown." And so I said, "Well, of course." This was actually long before I started my formal briefing for coming to Jamaica, which took place when I got back to London a couple of months later. But His Royal Highness got in very quickly, let's put it that way. So having heard from him, and he described to me in that remarkable way that he has, the vision he had for Rosetown, and he visited here. I think he last came to Jamaica in 2008.
Correct. Yes.
But he did come down here, and it is fantastic to see how this has come along. And I last came down for a few months ago with my colleague Janet from DFID to see how we could work. And it's a great pleasure for the British government to be a partner in this. And it's been to me coming here 2 years ago, and as several speakers have said, the vital importance of title in people's lives. And you all know, you all been here a lot longer than I have, how big an issue it is in this country in social terms, the very high number of squatters, not just in this area, but all round. And as others have said, on the one hand, that means that people in that unfortunate situation cannot access benefits such as water and electricity and so on, and engaging with the state, as it were, for the provision of services. But I think it also, I think we all know that if you have a stake in something and you have title, it alters the way you and your family interact with the community and how you feel about improving your community and all of that. So I think that's another really important dimension of this. And that's why we, as the British government, as part of the marvellous partnership here, we're pleased to be part of it, and for our specific engagement and our funding to be geared directly towards the land title programme of assistance with land title. And as Angela has said, one of the things which we're very specific in what we wanted to do, which was our aim, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 100 people, family units, to gain title. And it's great to hear from Angela that 102 are actually well on that way. It's particularly good news because, as my colleagues from the House of Parliament will know, ministers in this British government, in the Department for International Development, are very keen to see that what we do delivers results. And I think it's pretty clear in this case that it has done. So that's fantastic. I know those processes are ongoing, but it's a terrific piece of news to hear that it's moved on. I'd just also like to say that our engagement with this specific project is entirely consistent with part of our development programme assistance in Jamaica. You'll all be aware of the CSJP, the Community Security and Justice Programme, where when my Minister for International Development, Alan Duncan, was here a few months ago, we were very pleased to announce then that we were making a significant grant of £7 million, £9 million pounds, £7 million pounds, how much is Jamaica dollars? It's lots. To help the Citizen Security Justice Programme, to help in similar ways to what's being done here in Rosetown, but in other challenged communities, volatile communities, you all know the terminology, try and help those communities to develop and to recover from the deprivation and violence and so on that many of them have experienced. So for us, this is entirely complementary to that. We're delighted to be a part of it. And I would just like to say, if I may, on behalf of my colleagues from the British Parliament, it's a great pleasure for all of us to be here today. Thank you so much for having us.